My name's Dan, I'm 24. I have a MK1 Fiesta with an SC170 engine in. Built the car pretty much with my dad. Had it for about 10 years now, so it's been a bit of a long project. So I've had the car for just over 10 years. I pretty much bought it because my dad bought a MK1 Fiesta XR2 and started restoring it, and when I was 13 I found that quite interesting. So we went down to Manchester to pick that one up for 100 quid. It was a complete bare shell when we got it, rotten, needed so much work into it, but it was a good base for a project, we thought. So the story behind the car is, we got it as a project obviously, and it was something that me and my dad and his mates sort of built up from a bare shell. Done all like the fabrication, all the metal work, rust repair, all that sort of stuff. It was just going to be a completely sort of semi-standard but usable car that I was going to use for a first car. Unfortunately insurance got in the way and sort of wrote that off for an idea. And then it kind of snowballed into what it is now, which sort of like a fast road track car, use it to go to shows and stuff. It was just going to be a 1.6 cross flow, but we ended up deciding to put a 2 litre duratec in it. Yeah, I don't really know what else to say apart from it just got a bit out of hand, I guess. Yeah, so the modifications on the car and sort of a quick breakdown is it's a full nut and bolt resto, everything, there's not a part on the car that hasn't been touched. Going back to it, the engine's an ST170 Focus engine, came in the MK1 Focus. It's essentially a 2 litre Z-Tech, but it's got variable valve timing. It's got CBR 900 throttle bodies on it, obviously full custom exhaust, which I made myself. It's got light and flywheel by TTV Engineering, and the engine was built, like the bottom end was built by Jeff Wilson up at the HWR, and then the head's been ported as well, so it's made 192 brake on the dyno down at Dan ST, so it shifts quite well, to be fair, considering it probably weighs less than 800 kilo. The gearbox is an IB5 gearbox with an RS turbo limited slip diff. Going on to the suspension side of it, it's got gas gold coilovers on, fully poly-bushed, adjustable arms all around. It's got a bigger brake kit on off the MK1 XR2. As for the interior is obviously all stripped out. It's got a 6-point cage in. The bucket seats have been retrimmed with the Super Sport material in the middle, so they're a bit of a one-off set of seats. Obviously harnesses in it, knotty steering wheel, a few other bits. The wheel arches on it are actually quite a rare bit. The Series X arches, which was an optional extra in Austria. So it's like they're an original Ford part, but we never got them over here. And then the wheels themselves are like the RS 4-spoke wheels, which are like a reproduction wheel that Ford made. And then as for the exterior, it's like got the camo splitter, all like the side bits have been custom made to suit. It's got the smaller bumpers on off the Super Sport. As for the paint on it, I guess the paint's a bit of a special colour, you don't really see it that much. It's actually a factory colour off something which I'm not going to tell anyone because I don't want anyone else to paint the car that colour. But I don't think you'll see another car in that colour, but it's similar to the sort of Porsche Peppermint Green, but it's a bit better in my opinion. So the biggest dislike on the car, it's not really a dislike on the car, but it was more the situation. I finally got it finished last year and done 100 miles in it, and then it span a bearing on the bottom end, lost oil pressure, done the bottom end, cams in and everything. So it got sort of parked back up just for the rest of the year, and then we rebuilt it over winter. We had the engine completely rebuilt by HWR Motorsport up near Brunswick, so thank you to Jeff for sorting that out for me. We had another go at it, got the engine in, took it back down to Dan ST to get mapped again, and yeah, it's been fine ever since. Done over 1,000 miles in it now, so it's going all right. So I think the biggest light of the car is just the fact it's a bit different to normal classic Fords, I guess. Like, sort of classic Fords always fit into a similar category on how people modify them, how they're sort of built, how they're tuned, all that sort of stuff. And I think with my influence on Japanese cars and, dare I say, my interest in Hondas, that took a bit of a sort of influence on the car to a point where it stands out a bit from classic Fords because it's got like Japanese sort of look to it, but it also still has some of like the classic Ford parts on it, which like the purists like, such as like the white arches and all that sort of stuff. So I think it's just the fact that overall it's a bit, not a one-off. There are Fiestas out there similar to it, but it's not like your everyday Mark 1 Fiesta, I suppose. So my future plans with the car is definitely develop it further and try and get it to drive a bit better. Definitely going to upgrade the braking system by putting a pedal box in it. Going to develop a sort of bottom arm kit for it to try and sort the way it handles out, because as you'll see in the video, it's a bit all over the road when you're trying to put the power down. But I have no intentions of selling it. It's something I'll definitely keep for a long time, and yeah, I'll just continue developing it and try and make it a bit better, I guess. I don't really have any regrets with the car as such. There would be things I do differently now that I've developed my skills in motorsport fabrication while I was working at Tech, and obviously my skills while building the car. So for instance, instead of having a bolting cage, I would have done a welding cage. Like the bottom arm kit is something that I still want to develop, and I just think overall, like, as my skill set's developed, I think there is things that could have been improved, but I'm quite happy with how the car is now, and yeah, I'm just going to enjoy it, I think.